Hello, my name is Julie Dries. I'm the Children's Librarian at the Harrison Township Public Library. Today we're going to be taking a quick little tour around a resource that I think is a really good one for kids, for teachers, and for parents. It is Michigan Electronic Library's eBooks for kids in kindergarten through 8th grade. There are some unique features to this resource. Number one is that you don't have to wait for a book to become available. A lot of times if you check out an ebook from another source, you will find that there's only one copy and you may have to wait for someone to return it before you check it out. That's not the case here. So you can have many people using it at the same time. Teachers, this is wonderful for you because if you wanted your whole class to read a book, you can use these. And you can get a link to them and you can put it on your website or in your Schoology or any kind of a platform that you happen to be using, whether you're teaching in school right now or teaching remotely. You could use it in the computer lab with all your kids, or again, if your kids are at home and you need to send a link to a book to read, this is a great resource to come to. Parents, if you are looking for a place to bring your kids, if you're helping them out with some online learning, you need to maybe research a topic. These books are great ones that you can use for that and show them how to use this resource. Kids, if you are watching this, I'm going to show you just the basics of how to do a simple search to find books that might interest you, or again, that you can use for school if you need to as well. So I'm going to get my computer set up and we're going to get ready to do a tour of Michigan Electronic Library's eBooks for students in grades K through 8. Here we are at the Harrison Township Public Library's homepage, which is htlibrary.org. And we're going to click right over here in the center on the Children's tab. And when we get there, we're going to scroll down just a little bit and you'll see MeL right here, Michigan Electronic Library. That's where we're going to go today. So we'll click there. And that opens up the children's page in Michigan Electronic Library. We're going to scroll down just a little bit here. And we're going right here under the letter E, which is the eBook K-8 collection. This contains full text titles, which means entire books, and there is over 12,450 titles to choose from here. You can see their description as titles that support K through 8 students across all subject areas. Also features a section of teacher resources to support educators and administrators, including Common Core alignment. You may access the full text of these ebooks from your computer, or you can download titles to most popular portable devices. So let's click into it. All right, here is our page, our landing page here for our eBooks K-8 collection. You can see up at the top here, the first thing that you'll see is that there is a search box. So if you're looking for a particular title, a particular subject area, topic, you can type it in there and search. You are also able to browse this if you just want to kind of play around and see what's there. They have a screen with some highlights that changes from time to time. Today they have some things featuring the different systems of the body and some animal books. Now they've updated these frequently because these are different ones that were on here when I was just here a few minutes ago. You see also over here on the right hand side, if you click this arrow, you'll get some different titles too, some different highlight titles. So that's a way to browse. They also, if you scroll down here, you have some other featured ebooks. And we've got some things here about animals, gardening, some fiction and some nonfiction. Again, there is an arrow over to the side where you can continue browsing. We've got a joke book there. You can go back and forth on these. There's an arrow on the left side too, so you can continue to browse over on the left. If you look at your menu on the left-hand side here, you can browse by category. If you want children's and young adult fiction, and everybody remember what fiction is, kids? You guys know what fiction is? Fiction means they're stories that were made up in the author's imagination. Children's and young adult nonfiction And we know nonfiction, those are your fact books. That's where you're going to find out your information about some different topics. And if you scroll down here, there's a whole bunch of specific categories that you could click on if you were interested in those. I am going to go up here to our search box up at the top, and we're going to just type in a topic for today just to explore a little bit. I'm going to type in dinosaurs, and we're going to see what comes up with dinosaurs. Let's click on search. Okay, so when you do a search here, you will see that you'll get a list here. It's going to give us 10 books at a time, and it brought up 193 results here. As we go down the list, we'll take a peek at these in just a sec, but I do want to show you a little bit over on the left-hand side, some of the things that you can do if your search comes up and it's not quite what you were looking for. Maybe your search is a little too big. Maybe you want to limit it down a little bit. You can go down here. I like this one here. It's a publication date. So right now it's searching for all books between 2001 and 2020. If you wanted more recent books, you could just take this slider, and if you wanted ones that were from the last 5 years or so, you could do that and it will update. Now we have 62 resources over here. Okay, so it just depends on what you happen to be looking for. If you need things that are up to date, you can certainly do that. Let's go back to our original search here. You also down here, you can click on any of these on the left-hand side and limit your source further. If you were looking for books about a certain subject, a very particular subject, like let's say you only wanted T-Rexes, or books by a certain publisher, or if you wanted to switch the language of the books, different categories, you can explore those too. I'm not going to go into all that stuff today because it would take us a really long time, and I just want to show you the basics. So let's take a peek at the list that we brought up here. When you see the books in the list here, it's going to give you the information about the book here, such as the title, the author, if it's in a series of books, your publishing information. It will tell you here whether it is fiction or nonfiction. This is juvenile nonfiction. So again, this will be a book of, it's not a story. This happens to be dinosaurs and art. This is drawing. This is a drawing book. Okay, so if you wanted to learn how to draw dinosaurs, you could click into that one. Right here, we have a book titled Dinosaurs, again, juvenile nonfiction. And this is a book that is counting in numbers. So this one isn't as focused on the information about the dinosaurs quite so much as teaching kids to count and learn their numbers. Down here, we have another, you can see we've got another drawing book. This is one called Digging for Dinosaurs. This is a nonfiction book, and this is going to give you some more of your information about dinosaurs. One of the things that some of the books do here is they tell you the lexile of the book, and the lexile is a reading level. So if you wanted to, not all the books do this, but some of them do. So if you wanted to see what reading level it was, and it gives you the lexile, you could click on this little number over here, and this one is a lexile of 900, and it gives us kind of the grade that book might be fairly geared towards. So a 900 lexile would be right here between 6th and 8th grade, 11 to 14-year-olds between an 860 and a 1010 lexile here. Okay, so that's just some more information that might be helpful to you. We have Deadliest Dinosaurs here, again, a nonfiction. And as we go down here, we've got Origami, we've got Dinosaur Museum. This is a fiction book right here, juvenile fiction, and this is a 440 lexile. So this is for younger kids. If we click into the lexile, we can see 440 is going to be just below maybe a 2nd grade level. And they don't really do lexiles for kindergarten and 1st grade. So if you see something below about a 450, that's going to be for your younger elementary kids. Let's take a peek at this one, the Dinosaur Museum, and see what a book looks like when we click into it. Now you can see these are done in PDF, so it's a full text. You also have the ability to download. You can view any of these books on your computer without having to have an account. If you do want to download things, generally they will prompt you to set up an account, and that is free to do, but you do not have to do that. We're just going to look at them today as the full text. I'm going to click into it here. So when you click into a book, you'll get all the information about it. Again, your author, your publication, what type of a book it is, a description. Sometimes they'll have a pretty good little summary of it. And then over here, we can click, here's our little PDF full text is the way we're going to do it today. And you can click on the first screen that I showed you here too, but I'm going to click it here. It's going to load the book. So here we are at the Dinosaur Museum. You can see that we have the title of the book here on the cover. But the problem is that we can't see the whole cover, can we? It's kind of off the screen. So if you look down in the bottom right-hand corner, we have some tools that we can use to make sure we're looking at it the way we want to look at it. This one right here allows you to put it in full screen mode. So if you want to get rid of all this stuff over on the side, you can do that. You also have the option to fit the page to your screen, which is what I'm going to do right now. I'm not going into full screen mode because the way I'm doing this screencast, it kind of shows it doesn't work real well in full screen mode. So I'm just going to click the fit page, and now you can see that we can see the entire cover of the book. Now, to read the book, there are two different options for turning the pages. You can see down here underneath the book, we have an arrow that says go to the next page when we hover over it. So I'm going to click that. And this particular one has some, like a note to parents and teachers. There's what they call bookends for the reader. So it gives you some reminders before reading the text. And then when you click through here, there's like a little glossary of some words to know before you read. And you're just going to click through it just as though you were reading a regular book. Now, I told you these are kind of like a library book, right? So it's not a read aloud book where you're going to have the option for a speaker to read, click on it and it reads the book to you. This is one that you actually read yourself or with an adult. So we just click through. Now, because this is a PDF file, it's also just a document. So another way to look at this book is if you go over to your right-hand side, you have a little scroll. I like to call it an elevator here. You could just scroll down too to read. So see how I'm turning the pages here just by scrolling down, or you can use your mouse to scroll as well. So two different ways, either use your arrows or the scroll feature to turn your pages. And that's basically what the books look like when you get into it. I'm going to go up here to the my corner up in the top left and go back because I want to show you. Let's go back into our list of books here. We'll go back one more time. So I just clicked my back button to get back to my list here. And I want to show you just an example of an informational book because there's some really good features here if you happen to be doing a report or something too. There's some things you need to know about here. Let's click into our first one, which is Digging for Dinosaurs. This is a nonfiction book. We'll click there. Again, I'm just clicking into this part because I want you to realize that you can read especially the description here before you decide to go into it. If it sounds like something that interests you, read the description first, and then you can go up into the PDF full text and take a peek at it. The other reason why I wanted to come in here is because there's a tool menu over here on the right-hand side that I wanted to show you. So in the tools here, if you are a teacher or a student too that uses Google Classroom or Google Drive, you can actually put these titles into your Google Classroom or Google Drive. So that's a nice feature. They have this option over here, Add to Folder. This is like, let's say you're browsing for a bunch of stuff on dinosaurs and you find several things that you want to go back to. You're like, oh, this one looks interesting. I don't want to lose this one. I want to look at it later. You can click on Add to Folder, and it's kind of like bookmarking your choices that you liked
It's not going to keep them there forever. It's just going to keep them there for this particular session, but that allows you to kind of click on the ones you like, put them in there, and then go back to them. You can print things from here. You can send this to somebody through email if you wanted to share this and say, hey, I found this really cool dinosaur book. Check it out. You can save it. Citing. This is good for, especially for those of you who are getting to upper elementary or middle school, and for teachers and parents. If you have to do a report and your teacher, if you guys need to put down where you found the information, when you click into this Cite tab here, it will give you all of your information here about the book. This tells you here, this APA one is a good one to generally use because it's nice and simple. It tells you that the author was Rachel L. Thomas. It was written in 2018. The title is Digging for Dinosaurs, and the publisher was Checkerboard Library. So you could just copy this, right-click it, copy, and paste it if you had to have a list of works cited or a list of where you got your information from. So nice and easy to do that here from these sources. And click our X to go out of here. You can export this. You can create a note if you wanted to jot some notes down about this. This permalink is a really good resource here too. This just gives you a link that goes to this particular article right up here. So if you were to copy and paste this, this is something that you could, if you wanted to come back to this at a different time, you just right-click it, copy it. Teachers, you could add this to a Schoology page. You could add this to a list of resources for your kids if you wanted them to go into it. Kids, if you wanted to come back to this at a later time, you could save this in a document or something and be able to click back into it at any point. So don't forget about your tools over on this side. I wanted to make sure you guys were aware that those are there. So let's go back one more time to our list here. There's lots of other stuff, you guys, on this page, and I could do this for a really long time, but I want you guys to explore some of this too. You can see over on the right-hand side here, we have some news, updated news called Newswires, and it tells you some things that are about dinosaurs that you might find interesting in the news recently, as well as some more news from the web. And I don't know if you guys probably saw this as I was scrolling down through the books. You also get some video results. So there's little videos about dinosaurs that come up too, which is kind of fun. Even if you're looking for books, sometimes it's fun to watch the video too. So there's lots to explore here, everybody. This, again, was just a touch so that you realize that this available is here for you. It is free. You don't have to wait to check out books. You can use them as soon as you want. If you wanted to create an account so that you can actually save things, when you go into, like if you clicked on full download here, it's going to tell you to sign into your account to download it. And at that point, you could just click on this button. If you wanted to create a free account so you can save things for later use, it's real easy to do. And again, it's free. So I hope that you got some good information today, learned about a resource you may not have known before, and I hope that you check it out this year and read some good books here. Take care, and I will see you next time.